Today we're speedrunning through every prison in the Escapists 2, probably one of the most underrated prison escape games out there. Now our speedrun starts when we enter the first prison, and right away we want to get 5 things. We want timber, a file, duct tape, a sheet of metal, and a screwdriver. But of course we're not just going to get that in our desk, so we can also go into the desks of other people in the prison and steal stuff from them. This prison starts out with a roll call, so this gives us plenty of time to do this while there are no guards or other prisoners around, so they're not going to get mad at us for stealing their stuff. And we have 4 out of the 5 things right now. We can check this one. That's where there's going to be the sheet of metal, and then we can craft together the file and timber to make a tool handle, and then the tool handle, duct tape, and sheet of metal to make a shovel. After that, you'll see me doing this strategy where we try to sprint. By charging your attack, you can go faster, and then if we open our menu, it cancels that before we do our attack. So we skip that whole animation, and it's pretty much just the fastest way to move, but it does use energy, so we have to be careful of not using it too much, so we still have enough energy to then come in this room and just start chipping away at this wall. You do see, since we missed roll call, they are upset at me and they're going to start doing a lockdown, but they do not have time to get us, and we're able to escape. That's our first prison. Now our next prison is going to be Cougar Creek Railroad, and for this one, it's going to be a transport prison, which means we have to escape within a certain amount of time before we get transported to the next prison. And right away I want to come over to this desk, and we're just ignoring the guards by not getting caught by them. Pretty much if they ever see you, they'll be mad because you're not in your cell. And we can get a couple of things. There are 2 different escapes we can do for this ending. The first one is a grappling hook where you get 2 crowbars, duct tape, and rope. And the second one is a carrot where you get a green pen, orange pen, and handkerchief. So we got a pretty good amount of stuff for each of those endings, and it's just about seeing which one we're actually going to get. We skip those desks by there, and then there's also going to be this officer. He's in kind of an annoying place, so we're just going to take him out by doing a bit of combat. All you have to do for combat is just hit them once, walk away from them while you're waiting for your next attack to recharge, and then hit them again. It's actually a little bit harder than it looks, but we got it done pretty well there. There's going to be this crowbar, and that's everything we need for the grappling hook, so we can put together the 2 crowbars in duct tape and then add the rope to that. Finally go on top of the train and escape like that. So that's 2 prisons done, and the next one is Rattlesnake Springs. For this one, right away we want to check our cellmates' desk before they wake up, and we're looking pretty much only for an iron bar. And thankfully it's actually going to be in my desk, and I'm also going to take this cookie. Then as soon as we can get out, there is going to be roll call. This time we're actually going to go to roll call, especially because it's on our way. And this is the final easy prison of the game. One nice thing about this game is you only have to appear for a very small amount of time to each of these things, so we can just stop by roll call and then leave, and they'll still accept us going to it. Finally, we just come over to this wall. Yep, that is legitimately the entire escape, and now we made it home free. But after that, the escapes are going to get a lot harder, because now we're on to the medium difficulty prisons, and this one is Kapow Camp. Now we want to get out of here on a motorbike, and to start, we're going to start looking through these people's desks while they're asleep. We pretty much always do this. And we're looking for a few things. We want a screwdriver, can of soda, and sugarman. But we didn't get either of those in any of our stuff. We'll also check our desk, and there's nothing good there either. We will take this milk though, because that will give us extra energy. We'll wait for the people to leave this room, that way I can check this desk, and nothing there too, but that doesn't really matter because we were more just waiting until it was roll call time. And now we're going to check Oldie's favors. We want to get 75 coins, and we're looking around Oldie's people to see if anyone has anything good, but this is actually going to be waste management, and this is a great way to get a can of soda because we can just keep refreshing this until they actually get us that, and then we can accept that quest, but we're not actually going to complete it because it only gives us 10 coins. Then from there, I actually have to find a mission that I want to do. This one will give us 100 coins, and it's one of the easiest ones in the game. But we have those quests ready, so now all I have to do is go over to this desk. You can see on the map where you do the missions, and we know the can of soda is right in there, so I will take it. And we also got a screwdriver there, so I'm going to put that in the hidden compartment of my desk, and we'll continue on our way over to breakfast time. But because we did all of this so fast, we might actually have time to study. So for this ending, you do need 40 intelligence, and we only have 30. And what we're going to do is a quicker way of getting intelligence. Basically, we just make the bar go all the way up, then move upwards so we cancel out of this animation, and then continue that over and over again. This is a bit faster than just going through the minigame normally, and it also saves a lot of energy, so it's just worthwhile to do. Meanwhile, people are fighting each other in the cafeteria, not my problem though. But as soon as this is over, we have to find the person Martin Littlewood, because we have to make sure they lose their plumbing job for our favor. So we can see that that guy is right here with the headband, and all we're gonna do is just talk to him. Yeah, the easiest way to make someone lose their job is just talk to them and not allow them to go to their job. Meanwhile, the guards are getting mad at him and not us for some reason. It's hilarious. And we're just gonna wait with him till around 11:55. Then he's gonna go try running over to his job. He will miss it though, and that makes us complete the mission and get 100 coins. By the way, that does increase our star level since we didn't make job time, but that doesn't actually really matter. Basically, the only thing we have to worry about for stars is if we get 2 of them, the guards start bringing out dogs, which wouldn't be good, but we only have 1, so we're good for now. Now I'm gonna look at all these people who are selling stuff until we get the paint can tower, and also we took the screwdriver from our desk, and all we have to do at this point is find a guard that we can start attacking. And that's because every guard carries a sugar mint, so I can wait over here. We're just gonna wait this out a little bit to make sure the other guards move out of the way, and as long as the other guards don't see us attacking this one, we will be fine. So I'll wait until that time, go in this building so we don't get shot by the snipers, and just keep hitting this dude with our screwdriver. Kind of annoying him blocking our attacks. All right, that could have gone a bit better, but we still did take him out, and he also gave us a med kit, which is really nice. Because one thing about this game is the snipers do 40 damage to you, so since we got that med kit and also had that milk, we're going to be able to get over 80 health, and that's going to be just enough health to be able to sprint all the way over to this building. We can place down the paint can tower right there. That way we have enough elevation to get into this vent, and while we're unscrewing it, we can also make this canned sugar mint thing. Then there's going to be one more vent to do. We'll just screw through that, and finally below us there's going to be a motorcycle, which we can put the canned sugar mint thing, and for some reason that causes the motorcycle to do what we need it to do, and we get our next escape. So yeah, you can see these prisons are starting to get a bit more complicated, and this next one's going to be HMS Orca. So right away we want to come over to this officer and start attacking him. We don't have a weapon, but your fists are good enough as long as you're pretty good at the combat. And we're going to take his red key along with his baton and his uniform. Then we can come into this building, and since we got his red key card, we can now go through any red key doors, but that's the only way you can get through there. And thankfully we did make it there because there is duct tape. This is another prison where there are 2 endings that we can go for. The first is a jet ski where you get tubing and bolts, and the second is diving gear where you get tubing, duct tape, and a tank of oxygen. So it just depends on what we actually get in these desks. And yeah, that's a lot of this game because sometimes you get lucky in it, sometimes you don't. So look in this one next, there's just going to be a bat, not worrying about that. And unfortunately we do have a bit of heat, so even though we do have the uniform, people are going to try to attack us. Thankfully all we have to do is hit them a couple of times, especially because our weapon does tons of damage now. And in here, just a crowbar. We can come up to this part. There will be that guard over there, so hopefully they don't see me. And nothing in this one, but there are 2 more desks in this place, and neither of them had anything. That one had duct tape again, but not really what we need right now. But we can also head into this medical office. Please get off that desk. You can never actually open the desk when someone is on it, so it's very annoying when these doctors are doing that. And even though we've gotten kind of unlucky so far, that's also what you expect from this mission. There are just a lot of desks that you have to search, and it's hard to find what you need. But there's a whole upper floor as well, and that's going to be the tubing, so that's part of what we need. And up in here is going to be the tank of oxygen, so now we can put all 3 of those items together to make some diving gear. And all we have to do is now come down to this part, so another nice easy one. But now HMP Offshore is definitely one of the most stressful escapes. First we start in our place, and basically what we're looking for is a weapon and food. A weapon is good since we will have to take out a couple guards, and the food is good so we can hopefully get some more health from it. So I'm just going to check everybody's desk because we do have to wait till 7 a.m. anyways, so might as well use that time looking through desks. I found a screwdriver. Hopefully we find a crowbar, but a screwdriver is pretty good. There are also these guards over here that may not like me looking through desks. Thankfully they're not the best at their jobs. This guy just walks away while I go into somebody else's room, and yeah, looks like we're going with the screwdriver. But now we can come upstairs just to make sure we make roll call. That's the only thing that it's important to make. All the other ones you can skip and you just get half a star rating, but if you miss roll call, then the prison goes in lockdown and we really can't be having that. So now we have to get a key card from one of the guards, and there's always going to be one on the second person with the red anger stuff. So what I'm going to do is attack them and take them away from all the other guards so we can attack them alone and we don't have to deal with anybody else. Using the screwdriver, not the worst thing in the world. We'll take their adrenaline, and we'll also take their key card along with their uniform and a baton for a better weapon. Now I have to make sure no one attacks me, because one thing about this mission is you have to be very careful about not losing much health. Thankfully I got some healing items, so we probably should be fine, but we want to have as much health as possible to actually be able to make it through here. So we're going to go across this area. There's going to be another guard all we can do is just block and hope they don't hit us. All the attacks and everything are also really random, so I'm just hoping things go well at this point. But now we make it past this part, and what we have to do is, since there are snipers, we have to keep doing our charge cancels, that way we run faster. And if we do these perfectly, we're only going to get shot twice, so we'll be able to make it to the end. Then at this place, I'm going to drop this red key because that stops some of the guards that are chasing after us, and we can just keep going up these stairs until finally there's going to be a helicopter here. We can escape through it, and yeah, that is a stressful one. So many things can go wrong, but we did it great. Next up is going to be Fort Tundra, and this is a super fun escape. So it starts out like usual, just us in bed, and then we're going to steal stuff from our cellmates. And what we want to find is 3 files and 3 duct tape. I got a file from that guy, and we can also move over our desk to this spot so it's in a better spot. There's going to be duct tape there, and we're just going to keep all the files and duct tapes in our hidden compartment. Then we're going to talk to this guy, Big Dog, because he's going to have the rock hammer hard place mission, which gives us a rock hammer after we do 8 different missions. And so we're going to be doing these missions all throughout the entire day. By the way, if you're wondering why he has that cool hat and also the name of Big Dog, you can actually edit your prisoners, that way you know which one is which. So I just made sure I was able to recognize which one had the rock hammer hard place thing right away. We just always know if he has this purple hat, that's the one we go for. Also, while I was looking through those desks so I could find that guy the book, I got some other stuff, some more duct tape and files, and we also got this razor. And the great thing about razors is they actually don't count as contraband. So whenever you go through these little green things, they're going to alert the guards if you have contraband, but with the razor, we're just completely fine to go through. So it's a pretty good weapon. And now what we're gonna do is just keep studying. Yeah, because for this mission, you have to get 70 intellect, which means we're gonna be here for a while. Now, as soon as that's done, we can actually leave. Takes a while, but isn't the biggest deal in the world. And from here, we have to find a guard that we have to take out because they have a book that Big Dog wants. So I'm gonna come right to this guy. Thankfully, he was in a great spot for us to attack, and there's no one around, so we are going to take that along with his uniform that we can use for later. I actually want to bring the uniform over to my desk, and hopefully nobody will see me on the way. There's going to be this guy, but we can then put it in there and we're good to go. They're going to start attacking us, but since we don't have any contraband, it doesn't really matter. If you have contraband, then the nurses will take it away from you, but the stolen book and the razor don't count, so we'll just get taken to the medical tent, and it's actually a strat that you can use. Now, since we got the book, we have to go find Big Dog, but I'm also going to stop by my job. That way we just get the check mark, and here's going to be Big Dog. We can give him that, then we can take his next mission, which is to get rid of a file. And this file is very conveniently just over here in this desk. We can check through there. It's going to be that. We'll also take the other one and check these other people's desks as well, which there's going to be some duct tape, and there's going to be some more duct tape. That was actually amazing. And now, since we have 70 intelligence, we can just do a ton of crafting. First of all, we'll combine 2 files and a duct tape to make a flimsy cutter. Then we can make lightweight cutters by combining the flimsy cutter, duct tape, and a file. And finally, really good cutters by combining, again, our cutters, a file, and duct tape. So that's going to be part of the things we need to escape, but we still have to do all the missions to get the rock hammer for Big Dog. So we can make sure we know where he is on the map, take his next mission. And this one is to get 2 timber and a roll of duct tape from different people's desks. And same idea as last time, all we have to do is follow the map, see where all these things are going to be, and steal them from people. There's also going to be roll call while we're doing this. Perfect time to just stop by, and once we get the stuff from the desk, we can make them into a baseball bat. Give that over to Big Dog, talk to him again, get his next mission, which is to knock out one of the prisoners. But this honestly is not the greatest time to do that because everybody's really close together and there are also guards by. So while we're waiting, what I'm gonna do is make another combination, which we can make this dummy prisoner, which we're gonna use later on. And we have a little bit of free time, so we'll take a rest, make sure we get our energy and health back. The thing about this ending is you have to do it at night, so we just have to make sure we complete everything pretty fast. And it is a little bit easier said than done, but now it's gonna be shower time and we're going after this guy. We'll just wait for him to get out of view of any of the guards, and the showers is great because the guards never really come in here, at least not too deep. So it's the perfect way to knock somebody out. That of course is going to make Big Dog happy. We'll take his next mission, and this one is going to be attacking another officer. So we can see them on our map. They're going to be in the bottom right, and they're in this building where we did all the studying, but actually upstairs. Now, hopefully they didn't get to a place which is restricted, because that would kind of suck, but no, they didn't. They're just with a bunch of other guards. So we do want to separate these guys, and what we can do is just talk to the guard that we want to deal with, let all the other guards start walking away. There's also going to be this other guy, so we're going to keep him for a second longer. And finally, after all those people move, we can actually attack Officer Wood. So we're just going to hit him in the face multiple times. Unfortunately, another guard does see us, but this can still work out fine. What I want to make sure I do is knock out Officer Wood before we get knocked out, and this is actually perfectly okay, because now the medical people are going to take us both to the medical tent. They take me first, which is really funny. You would think they would take the guard first, but I guess I'm more valuable. And the great thing about this medical area is there's no other guards here, so I can get some more health, then attack this guy while he's in bed, start beating him up, and this is the perfect place to actually take him out, take his book, and then we'll just die again. Because yeah, we don't want the heat on us, and we don't want the sniper shots to constantly go off, so we can just chill in here, get shot a couple of times, and we're right by the medical area, so they're able to take us right away. Really funny way of doing this, and there's a lot of cool ways that you can game the system for this video game. Now we can stop by Big Dog again, give him the book, and we only have 2 more missions we have to do. This next one is going to be knocking out another guard. Thankfully, this one though doesn't have a book involved with him, so I can just take him out inside this area. Hopefully no other guards will see us, and pretty easy combat just like usual. That's the next favor done. He does have a buck, so I do take it anyways, just because, you know, I don't like him. But now we have to look for where Big Dog is going to be so we can check these exclamation marks, and finally we'll find him over there and also get shot. Okay, you don't have to say deserved it, you know, I kind of did, but you don't have to say it. Just worth it dying all these times instead of waiting for your heat to slowly go down, because there's no actual punishment that comes with getting taken to the medic tent besides losing a little bit of time. But like I said, we don't really care about that. And it's time for the final mission, which is another one of these where we just find a bunch of stuff from people's desks. Also, one thing is we still have to get the razor blade, and unfortunately we can't use the razor blade that we already have in our inventory for some reason. We have to actually go in this guy's desk and take this razor blade specifically. That really confused me when I just first started playing this game, but anyways, we can combine all those things to make this super whip. Then once we talk to Big Dog one more time, he's gonna give us the rock hammer in exchange for the super whip, and we'll go over to our desk and see that we have everything we need. We have the uniform, we have the dummy, we have the whip, and we have the rock hammer, so all we have to do right now is just kind of chill. Finally, when it's late enough in the night, we're gonna put this dummy in our bed. That way when the guards check our beds, they won't notice we're gone. Then we can stop by roll call, because of course we have to, before leaving right away, and we're actually gonna take this left path to make sure the contraband detectors don't get us, and we can put on the guard outfit that we got right at the beginning of this prison. And all we have to do from here is just kind of chill out in this corner. Eventually we'll get past roll call, and we have to make sure that none of the guards are able to see what we're about to do. So I will see these guys on the map that are moving upwards, and we will wait just a tiny bit. We see the first one is going over to the right, and the second one is going to the left. So yeah, it was a good idea to wait, because we do not want these guys to notice us just destroying this thing. And finally, after that guy goes through, we can take the rock hammer and start attacking this tank thing. I don't exactly know what this thing is, but all we have to do is attack it twice. Now we're down into the sewer system, and we can use these cutters we made to get through all the fences. And since we did everything right, nobody knows we're doing this right now, and we just have a pretty easy victory. So we'll cut through that, we'll get rid of the rock hammer and our prisoner outfit. We don't need those anymore, and cut through this other fence over to the left. Then after all that's done, all we have to do is a couple of charges to make it to the end, and that's going to be the longest prison escape done. But we still have 3 more prisons to do, and the first one of those 3 is area 17. Yeah, we're just kind of an alien right now, and we have to look at our desk, and we're looking for a couple of things, but I noticed that I didn't get any of them, so we're actually going to quit out right away. So we'll go in a second time, and this time we get the crowbar, which is good enough to continue, because what we want to find is a crowbar, ink, and a feather. So we're just going to be looking through all these desks. That's also an energy drink, which is nice, and we're just going to keep checking people's desks while roll call is going through. We obviously will want to make roll call, but we do have a bit of time. That's going to be the ink, and there's one more floor of this area, so we can check these desks too. Now I'm actually going to stop by roll call just to make sure we won't have to worry about that, but there should be a feather in one of these desks unless we got really unlucky, and we got really unlucky, so we gotta quit out one more time. But third time's the charm. This time we actually got everything. It took us a while, but I'll take it. At least we can play the game. Yeah, that's the problem with this speedrun. There's just a lot of stuff that's luck based, as you've seen throughout the entire video. But now right after that, we're gonna go ahead and start studying. And this time we have to get an intellect of 60. By the way, while we're doing this, how I learned this speedrun is by the speedrunner Jodabro. They made an entire guide of how to do these speedruns, and it has been incredibly helpful, so thank you to them. But finally, after we get 60, we're gonna sit down on this couch, that way we get some more energy, and we're gonna look at our guards. So we want a red guard and a cyan one. I labeled all these guards, that way it's easier for us, and the red guards have a red key card, and the cyan guards have a cyan one. We want both of these guys to be chasing after us. This dude is neither one of them. I can notice right away because he doesn't have an alien mask, but I did see that there is a red guard up here, and there's actually also one coming down there, so that's really lucky. So we will get this first red guard to come with us. You'll see along with the name, we also gave him a red alien mask. That way it's just really obvious which guard is which. And then I know there was a cyan guard somewhere down here, but a lot of the times they can just keep moving out of the way. So again, you have to get pretty lucky here. Kinda gonna stall for the next while and hope that we're able to find a guy who has the cyan key card because he is very important. But there's actually going to be our cyan guard. Thankfully, we were able to find him, so I can attack him, get him on our trail, and now we have both the guys we need. So from here, we're actually gonna leave the prison and go over to the outside. We can come down to this bottom right area. There's gonna be some downstairs stairs, and there's never gonna be any other guards here, which is really nice. Or at least from what I've seen, there's never any other guards. And what we can do is attack these guys. They'll hit the electric fence, and that will do extra damage to them, giving us a ton of damage, and it's pretty easy. And from them, we want to take their key cards and also one of their ID things. So I get all that, and then we can go through up here. There's going to be this building. We can use the cyan key card to actually get through there, and then we're also going to craft together the ink, feather, and key card. That way we make a fake visitor's card. Also in this building, there's going to be some civilian clothes, so we can put those on, and combined with both of those things together, we can escape by just walking out the front door. Yeah, somehow they didn't see my face, but I guess to be fair, all their guards have masks on as well, so you can't really blame them. And now we have our last transport prison, which is Air Force Con. Right away, this one starts out with us being on bed, and we're actually going to take that top bed sheet, which is really funny. And all I'm looking for in this entire plane is going to be some ropes. So we're just going to go from desk to desk, dodging all the different people, and there's going to be rope number 1. That's a nice place to find it. And the nice thing about this one is it's just a plane, so it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is keep going up and down on each floor. So we make it onto the 3rd floor. We see this guy just walking through. For the most part, I don't want to actually fight people just because it's some extra stuff to do, but this guy somehow saw us. I don't even know how, so we're just going to beat him up a couple of times. Inside this desk, nothing of note. And yeah, there's just a lot of desks you have to look through, so it's really common to just have to look through a ton until you finally find all 3 ropes. And there is another rope right there. That's going to be number 2, but we do have to go down to the 1st floor. This is also a really weird plane layout, by the way. I wonder if these kinds of planes actually exist. This is kind of insane. But the nice thing about this area is there's just tons of desks really close to each other. And right here is going to be our final rope, so we can then combine all 3 of those ropes together and then combine that with our bed sheets to make a parachute. Now all we have to do is come back to the 2nd floor and go downwards a little bit, because thankfully in this area there's a door where you don't need any key cards or anything, so we can just escape by jumping out of the plane. And that means we're on to our very last prison, USS Anomaly. In this one, it starts us out right away in bed, and I want to check all of these different guards and see if there are any guards we have labeled for a red key card. Unfortunately, this time we didn't get one, but that just means we have to go through a slightly different strat and hope that we get lucky. So what I'm going to do is take this crowbar with me, and we're going to attack one of these guards. It doesn't really matter which one we are attacking, since none of them have the red key card anyways. So we can go for this guy, and we'll just keep attacking him a couple of times. We can then take his baton and also his clothes, and then we're going to take his body. We're going to pick it up and bring it all the way over here. So this was kind of unlucky. What I want to do is that right there. Basically, we want to get him next to the door. That way the guards inside this building are able to see us. But this is incredibly inconsistent, so thankfully it actually worked right there. But we have to hope that this guard is the one with a red key card. And of course he's not. Okay, not the biggest deal in the world. All we have to do is take out this dude now, and then do pretty much the exact same strat. So we bring him over here. That other guard is all the way over there. And yeah, you can see this is just incredibly inconsistent for some reason. But we're just going to keep trying this and hope that the medics don't take away this guy. Please, game. Yeah, this is... gotta love it. All right, we got to find another guard. Okay, to make a long story short now, I kept taking out guards and we just kept not getting Officer Red to find us. Eventually, I had like 4 guards on me and I lost all my energy. Had to go back to sleep for a while. Finally got a red key card, but then I had to fight someone else in the office and we ran out of energy again. And yeah, we kind of just lost this one. This was actually so heartbreaking, but I went back in a second time and here's what happened. Got Officer Red to see us this time. And by the way, you can't go through those open doors, even though they're technically open with the body. You do need the key card, which is why we have to do these fights. Now I am able to take out Officer Red this next time pretty quickly. But now we are on the clock because I did have to take out some other people who started coming after me. And we got to make sure we do this all before the dogs start coming out and trying to kill us. So we can go inside this desk. There's going to be a jetpack, which is really funny. They just have a jetpack in a desk. And we got to run all the way over to the exit. Thankfully, it is in this area, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm just trying to make sure I do this before they notice that they're missing one of the key cards. We see all those robot dogs over there. And as soon as we make it in this spot, we can actually drop our key card and our baton. And then the dogs are going to start going towards that instead of us, at least some of them. And thankfully, we just have enough time to be able to make it to the end and finish out USS Anomaly with a final time of 54:32. But the speedrun community removes the main menu time from their runs. That way, it's just completely on gameplay. And when we do that, we have this time, which is going to be 5th place on the leaderboards. But alright, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.